The plane had just taken off smoothly from New York, but just 2 minutes later, Captain Sully let out a low gasp.
Birds.
A flock of birds flew straight at them, crashing directly into the plane's engines. Both engines shut down instantly, and the plane lost all power completely. In the cabin, the passengers still didn't know what was happening, and the purser had already stood up skillfully to comfort them. But in the cockpit, Sully knew they were in big trouble. He immediately tried to restart the engines, but there was no response. The situation was urgent. The co-pilot quickly pulled out the flight manual, while Sully immediately made an emergency call for help.
Mayday, mayday, this is Cactus 1549.
We hit birds.
The tower responded quickly. They instructed Sully to return to the takeoff airport to land, but Sully knew clearly that the current altitude was nowhere near enough for a safe return, so he immediately decided to make an emergency landing nearby. He then made an announcement to the cabin.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
The passengers hadn't even recovered from the shock when they heard the flight attendant's instructions.
Heads down! Stay down! Brace! Brace!
At this point, the tower found a closer airport for an emergency landing. However, Sully's calm voice came through the intercom.
We're going to end up in the Hudson.
Everyone was shocked by his decision, for there had never been a successful case of it before. To make matters worse, the plane's radar signal suddenly disappeared from the screen. Everyone fell into despair. The plane was getting closer and closer to the water. Sully and the co-pilot clung tightly to the cockpit, and he had done everything he could. In their final moments, the passengers didn't panic. Some were sending farewell messages to their families. Some huddled together. They were both scared and hopeful. Finally, the plane made an emergency landing on the water. The fuselage shook violently but didn't disintegrate. It miraculously came to a stop in the middle of the river. Yet the danger was far from over. Freezing cold water poured in rapidly. Sully quickly opened the cockpit. He gave the final instructions.
Evacuate.
Under the flight attendant's direction, people opened the emergency exits and started evacuating. In the chaos, Sully still didn't forget to remind the passengers to take their life jackets and blankets, for it was the middle of New York's harsh winter. The freezing water could end their lives at any moment. The passengers helped each other, standing in an orderly manner on the wings waiting for rescue. Rescue ferries arrived soon. The passengers were rescued one after another. Police officers from the helicopter jumped into the icy water without hesitation. They pulled up the passengers floating in the water, and Captain Sully was the last person to leave the plane. He paid no attention to the waist-deep icy water, repeatedly checking that no passengers were left behind before he would evacuate. In just 20 minutes, all passengers and crew members were successfully rescued, and Captain Sully became a hero who saved 155 lives.